Hello YouTube and welcome back to the Vinny G channel. I've sourced all the parts, as you can see in my last video, in regards to the electronic components that I need for a handheld gimbal. Unfortunately, China here, Australia there, shipping time. These guys don't care when they ship to Australia. If we want stuff for free shipping to Australia, up to 6 weeks sometimes. So when it gets here, it gets here. I have the accelerometer, gyrometer and the magnetometer. Basically, for those of you guys who don't know, and I'm not expecting anyone to know this, it's a chip module with very sensitive components on there that controls all the axis of the motors and stuff like that. I'm going to be soldering one up today. We're going to see how it responds, so we'll then go to the computer. I'll take some screenshots of the actual live performance of the unit itself. We're going to try and do that, but for now we're just going to go to the workbench, which is my dining room table, because it's quite cold outside. For you guys in the northern hemisphere, you've got the summer we just had, and it's going to be great. I'm actually expecting to see less vlogs on everyone's channels up that way, or maybe more, depending on how exciting the times are. So for now, let's just go to the workbench and get on with it. So basically, here's the chip itself. These are anti-static tweezers, electronics tweezers, purchased off eBay. You've got little pins that I've got to get into the pinouts to put into the breadboard. I don't know if you guys noticed, but when you're doing close-up work like this, the whole concept of using a real big ass soldering iron, like so, on something so small, and to hold it all in place is quite tedious. When you buy these breadboards, there's nothing really to worry about. Okay, that's going to make it a lot better. Even though it's still wobbly, it's going to make it a lot better. So with the solder, look, there's many ways to solder, and there's gazillions of YouTube videos that show you how to solder. The way to solder, from what I know, not saying it's how it's done, is you heat it up first, then you drop your solder on, and it's usually pretty good. Okay, so that's basically it there. As you can see, it's nice solder joints on there. So now let's start experimenting with it. Okay gentlemen, so you've got a standard USB. Pardon for the low light situation. It's yeah, dark, but I'll do the best I can. So welcome back to the cave, and standard USB AB cable connects to the laptop, I guess you could say. There's the chip as we wired it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wires into it. Okay, so that'll initialize. Now whatever's been loaded on the chip before basically is what's going to come up. So if you can follow my mouse pointer down here, it tells you that you're connected. I'm using COM1 as the port. It's easy to set up, and this is a port I had. A delay of 333 is 333 milliseconds, and it's basically the wire IC2Y bridge was a technology that was developed by Philips for integrated circuits to communicate with each other. It's a very simple protocol, basically. Up here in the right hand corner, you have the serial monitor. Now this delay here is 333 milliseconds. This here, right? That's 333 milliseconds. What it is, the delay is basically how long it's going to pause before it restarts the loop. Let's start the serial monitor up. You will see the lights on the Arduino flashing at 333 thousandths of a second, well, hundredths of a second, right? And as you can see on the screen, we're reading a little bit too fast for me to explain to you guys what's actually happening here. So I'll shut down the console, the serial monitor, and I will put a 2 in front of that, so 2.3 seconds. So let's start the serial monitor now, and look, what do you know, we've got a slow read. Every 2.3 seconds it is reading. Now let me explain to you what's in the code and what this chip is actually doing. So as you can see, the lights 2.3 seconds, you could probably time it and see that it's pretty accurate. Now the software here is set on auto scroll, so I will stop it. Okay, it will get down to the bottom of the page and that's it. So A stands for accelerometer, so we've got a variable in there that's measuring the accelerometer, and as you can see it's all different values in there because the table, I'm actually shaking it, my legs are resting on it and all that sort of stuff. So that's measuring the x-axis, the y-axis and the z-axis here. Right? And it's doing it slowly. It's doing it every 2.3 seconds. Now, why are we measuring the temperature? The temperature is important. You've got to remember that this is going to have a battery module and all that sort of stuff in there. And the chip on the accelerometer and gyrometer will be affected by the different operating conditions. So, we're going to speed this up now and show you how before we do, okay, I'm going to hold the camera in this hand and show you exactly what I mean. Now, on the right hand side of the screen, that's the accelerometer here, as you can see. I'm going to tilt this a bit and you'll see the values change. We're going to auto scroll it, so you will actually be able to see the values change. Okay, so we're auto scrolling now and I'm going for a tilt. Here we go. And on the y-axis, as you can see, they've changed drastically. They've gone from the 1000 mark to the 6000 mark. Now if I was to tilt that forward, the x-axis, look at that, 11,000, 12,000. I'll lay it back down flat again, and there we go. We're back into the hundreds. Now I'm going to change the code here. I'll take the 2 out, and we will make a decision. So, my colleague, the cat, tells me, let's go to 100 and see what happens there. We upload the code once again. Now watch that flashing light. That flashing light, this sensor chip now is reading, it's been powered and it's reading at, was reading at 2.3 seconds. The code's gone up and that's how quick it is now reading. Let's go. Oh, look at that, gentlemen. Look at the speed it can read so accurately. Bear in mind that this chip is used in robots and like self-balancing robots and all that sort of stuff. It is just absolutely brilliant. Now, I want to see how fast we can get this thing going. Okay, so let's take it down to 50. Let's upload the code. And now that little LED here on the Arduino should be really just permanently on. It's going to be reading that fast and hard. Oh, look at that. This is brilliant. This is going to take a measurement in a microsecond of positions of the gimbal when I set it up. Every quadcopter, hexacopter, sexcopter, any copter you want has one of these in it. I thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you like what I'm doing, and I'll see you on the next one.